I'm going to be honest with you right from the start. I'm not a motivational guru. I'm not going to tell you that positive thinking fixes everything, or that one simple hack will change your life. I'm just a guy who hit rock bottom, found something solid to stand on, and learned that the struggle doesn't end, but your relationship with it can. Let me tell you where I've been. I've been an introvert my entire life. That feeling of being different, of not quite fitting in social situations, of preferring to work alone rather than be in a room full of people, that's been with me since childhood. It never really went away. So I did what a lot of men do. I stayed busy. I ran. Here's the path I took. Finished high school, went to tech school, then got into professional wrestling at 19. Did that for a few years. Then started a home building company. 15 years of building something real, something I was proud of, but life happened. Family issues, estate problems, had to shut it down. So I moved on. Renovation company, construction manager, energy audits, then working for other people instead of myself. The pattern was the same. Find purpose in work, accomplish something, then lose it and move on to the next thing, rinse and repeat. And through it all, I told myself that as long as I was productive, as long as I was making money and staying busy, I was okay. I wasn't okay. About 15 years ago, I got into a relationship. I thought it was love. It turned out to be a commitment to someone else's survival at the expense of my own. I won't go into all the details, that's not what this is about, but I will tell you this. I supported that relationship financially and emotionally for 15 years. I neglected my health. I didn't take care of myself. I poured everything I had into keeping that situation stable, keeping her and her daughter afloat, and in doing so, I lost myself completely. I remember the feeling of not recognizing myself. I'd spent so long avoiding looking in the mirror, literally and figuratively, because I hated what I saw. I didn't want to face it. My sense of self-worth was gone. I wasn't succeeding by my own standards. I was just existing, surviving, getting through each day. The darkness was real. Depression crept in, anxiety, a sense that something was fundamentally wrong with me, that I was fundamentally broken, and that I'd never be able to fix it. Then one day, I finally looked in the mirror. I'm not going to get into all the details of that moment. That's another story for another time. But I'll tell you this. I looked into my own eyes, something I'd been avoiding my entire life. And in that moment I heard, plain as anything, I love you. Not in some flowery, sentimental way, just real, true. I believe I encountered something bigger than myself. God. Reality. Truth. Whatever you want to call it, it was real enough to shake me awake and tell me that I couldn't keep living like this. I got out of that relationship. It was necessary. It was painful, but it had to happen. And then I had to face the question that I'd been running from my entire life. What's my purpose? Who am I? What do I have to offer? I started searching. The world felt divided between good and evil. I felt lost. I had no direction. I needed something, anything, that felt true. Here's the thing. I had spent years completely convinced there was nothing to find. I'd grown up as an atheist, built a strong case against God in my own head, and wasn't shy about it. I'd mocked people for their faith, but something had shifted. The certainty I'd held on to was cracking, and I couldn't ignore it anymore. That's when I found orthodoxy. I don't want to get preachy here. I know that's not everyone's path, and it's definitely not my job to convert anyone. But I will tell you this, finding a spiritual foundation, something ancient, something real, something that demands you actually show up and do the work, that changed everything for me. At first, it felt like peace, like I'd finally found solid ground. But then, as I was warned it would be, things got harder. Because once you start walking a spiritual path, you realize that darkness doesn't disappear. You just see it more clearly. You start to recognize the struggle for what it is, a real ongoing battle. Some days it's at the deep end of the pool. Some days you can almost touch the bottom, but you're always in the water. And I was still working for someone I didn't respect, in a job that meant nothing to me, with no sense of fulfillment or purpose. The foundation was there, but the struggle was very real. Every single day. Then, and I can't pinpoint exactly when this shifted, I realized something. I've been involved in fitness, nutrition, and health for over 30 years. As a professional wrestler, as a personal trainer, as someone who's just obsessed with understanding how the human body works and how to make it stronger. That's not a hobby for me. That's who I am. That's part of my identity. No matter how busy I've been, no matter what else was falling apart, I've always been watching what I eat, always been thinking about training, always been reading, learning, understanding how to get stronger, both physically and mentally. And I've always loved sharing that knowledge with other people. It's the one thing that's remained constant, the one thing that feeds my soul. And it hit me. This is my purpose. My purpose is to share what I know about fitness, health, and nutrition with men who need it, not in a generic surface-level way, but in the context of the real stuff, the struggle, the darkness, the fight to become who you're meant to be. Battling Demons is the first book, and it's aimed at men who are in the deep end right now. Men fighting depression, anxiety, insecurity, worthlessness, confusion. For those of you in that place, this is the tool that changed everything for me. But this is just the beginning. There will be others, on fasting, on leadership, on protocols and training methodology. And eventually, I'll share the full spectrum of health knowledge that's guided my own journey. You're fighting something every single day, and one of the most powerful tools you have is your body, your health, your nutrition. Not as a cure-all, but as a foundation, as part of the answer. A strong body and a disciplined approach to health don't fix spiritual emptiness, but they give you a place to stand while you figure the rest out. They give you something real to control when everything else feels chaotic. They remind you that you're capable of more than you think. I'm not going to tell you that finding purpose solved all my problems. I still struggle. I still have dark days. I still deal with the weight of my past choices and relationships. The path of faith is harder than I expected, not easier. But now I know why I'm in the struggle. I know what I'm building toward. I know what I have to offer. The Apostle Paul wrote in Ephesians, "Put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground." He didn't say, wait until the battle arrives to build your defenses. He said, put them on now. That's what fitness, nutrition, and a disciplined approach to health are. Armor you're building before you need it. A lifeboat in your possession, whether you're in calm waters or the storm is already here. But here's the truth. Putting on that armor doesn't stop the struggle. And St. Macarius reminds us, let none of us lose our boldness, nor neglect our duties, nor be afraid of the difficulties of spiritual struggle. For we have God as a helper, who strengthens us in the difficult path of virtue. The struggle continues, some days deeper than others, but now I know why I'm in it, and I know what I have to offer. Whether you're in the deep end, dealing with depression, a sense of purposelessness, the feeling that you're fundamentally broken, or you're building resilience for what's coming, you need this. The struggle isn't a sign of failure. It's part of being human. It's the pool we're all in, and we don't get out until we die. But we can learn to swim. We can find solid ground beneath our feet. We can discover what we're actually capable of. That's why I'm here. That's what Battling Demons is about. Welcome to the struggle. Let's do this together. I read every message I get. So if you're in the deep end right now, if you're drowning in something, reach out, hit reply. Let me know what you're struggling with. Michael. Soul Force Rising, you're not alone.